Drawing or painting from life can feel intimidating, especially if you're used to working from photos, which already present a flattened, two-dimensional subject with established borders. In life drawing, you face new challenges. You have to compose and crop the subject yourself, decide on the focal point, and place the main subjects on your paper. In this video, I'll share 5 tips and techniques to help you begin your journey to confidently draw and paint anything from life. We'll cover where to start, how to approach composition, how to overcome the unique challenges of working from real-life subjects. And watch to the end because I'm going to share the #1 reason for drawing errors. It's not what you think it is. So if you're ready to expand your sketching practice and tackle the exciting world of life drawing, let's dive in. Tip #1, learn to observe and see like an artist. Instead of mentally labeling objects as an apple, a house, or a dog, focus on their basic elements, shapes, values, angles, widths, heights, etc. While naming things helps us in everyday communication, as artists, we need to avoid assumptions about how something looks just because of its label. Instead, we should think more abstractly. For example, if I draw a square, you might see it as a square, but an artist analyzes it differently. They see it as a series of comparisons. The vertical lines are parallel to each other, the horizontal lines are also parallel, and both sets of lines are perpendicular to each other, forming 90-degree corners. Additionally, all 4 lines are equal in length. An artist makes these comparisons quickly and translates them onto paper without much thought. This is the mindset we need to adopt when viewing and drawing any object. The good news is, these comparisons are all measurable. Proportions, angles, alignments, offsets, all of these can be measured. Tip #2, sketch with only a pencil and an eraser. Don't jump straight into using full color, especially if you've never drawn anything from life. If your goal is to paint from life with watercolors or any other medium, it's crucial to build a strong foundation in drawing first. Drawing isn't just for the naturally gifted. Yes, some people might pick it up quicker than others, but even the most talented artists must practice and work on their skills to get better. I truly believe anyone can learn how to draw. So start with a simple pencil and an eraser. It's an easy, affordable, and low-pressure way to improve your drawing skills. Keep a small sketchbook handy, in your purse, car, or backpack, and take it everywhere you go. Focus on getting the angles, lines, shapes, and shading right. Practice as often as you can. Even experienced artists sketch and doodle daily to keep their skills sharp and sometimes to find inspiration for larger works. Tip #3, start by sketching small, simple objects. Instead of tackling something complex like an entire town square, begin with something manageable, like a piece of fruit, a jar, or a book. Anything small with basic curves and lines that's right in front of you. Place the object next to your paper and sketch it at the exact same size. This approach actually makes the process easier by removing the need to scale up or down, which can help reduce drawing errors. Make sure to include the shadow beneath the object to help it appear more three-dimensional. And if you want to challenge yourself with more organic shapes, try sketching your opposite hand in different positions. Avoid taking on subjects that are too large or complicated, as this can be discouraging. It's important to start small and celebrate your progress along the way. Tip #4, use a composition finder or take a photo on your phone to help define the borders of your subject. You can buy a viewfinder tool online or easily make one yourself by cutting out a rectangle from a piece of cardstock in the aspect ratio you need. For example, if your sketch is 8 by 10 inches, make a viewfinder scaled down to 4 by 5 centimeters. Look through the viewfinder to decide the placement of major shapes. This helps you create a more accurate sketch and prevents you from making the subject too small with tons of empty space or too large, extending beyond the paper. This is also especially useful if you're feeling overwhelmed by the scenery in front of you and wish to narrow your focus. Tip #5, take time on your sketch and try to make each mark as accurate as possible. Remember that sketching is all about comparisons. Start with one line that looks correct, then create the next mark based on that. Constantly compare your marks to the subject. If you're drawing a face, check the distance between the forehead and brows and compare this to the space from the brows to the tip of the nose and so on. If something looks off, it's usually because the spacing between shapes was judged incorrectly. Ask yourself, am I really looking at the shapes, or am I labeling the thing and assuming I know what it should look like? So this leads us to an important question. What is the biggest challenge beginners face when learning to draw? You might be surprised to hear that the #1 reason for drawing errors has nothing to do with technique or talent. As I mentioned in our first tip, drawing mistakes happen when we start labeling what we see. We're taking inventory, we're not seeing shapes. We assume we already know what it looks like instead of really observing it. This shifts our focus away from the visual elements and stops us from making those important comparisons that artists do. The truth is, anyone can learn to draw, just like anyone can learn to meditate or build a healthy new habit. Drawing accurately is all about practical, mindful observation. So stay tuned. I'm hoping to post more videos in the future all about drawing and sketching, especially from life. I love to draw from life. I hope you'll enjoy it too. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.